Welcome, Ciara.
Hi, hi,
Oh,
Oprah.
great
Morning,
to
good
see
day,
you.
wherever
Great
you
to see
are.
you. Uh,
Great to
Great
see
to see
you.
you. Where are you zooming from?
I'm in San Diego.
Oh, in San Diego. Great to see you. Love seeing you at that great football game the other day. It was great with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
I believe in the power of intention, and when you are very clear in stating your goals, the world rises up to conspire to meet you. That's what the alchemist taught us. And you couldn't have been more clear, I think, when you posted on Instagram last year that you wanted to lose 48 pounds after the birth of your baby. And then you and WW found each other, and that's how the universe works. So, where are you now in your journey, Ciara?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll just tell you, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
That's great.
I say that because, I had a moment where I had to give myself a little grace. We went on a couple of vacations, and so I kind of ate a few more desserts than I should have. But the beautiful thing about the WW program is, Oprah, is that it goes right with you. It's forgiving. It's not stressful. You don't feel pressure, and I get right back in and I start logging my numbers. And this week I'm actually back on track, like all the way on track. And so I'm excited. I'm feeling really good about where I'm going. And I just want to get to that next. I'm ready to close this thing out. I'm literally probably, I'd say, have like about 18 more pounds or so left. So I'm also enjoying the process. And I think that's what's
To
really
reach your
fun about it.
goal, to reach your
Yeah,
goal. But
it's my goal.
you look so,
Goal.
yeah. But Sierra, like right now inside your body, first of all, you look fantastic to all of us. And how are you feeling inside yourself?
Oh my goodness, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like my best self, to be honest. And with this pregnancy in particular, I really chose to embrace every step of the process. Like I'm really enjoying my curves. I actually want to hold on. I'm like, I think my goal may change this go around versus what I used to want my goals to be. Like, I think I may want to hold on to 5 more pounds than I
Yeah.
normally would. But because I'm really loving where I am, I'm embracing every bit of the process, and it is somewhat a new me, in I've had two babies before my most recent one. And again, I was a bit more intense in my thoughts and about my goals. And I just realized, like, literally sometimes you have to step back and look at where you are and say, I'm actually doing all right. I'm actually doing good. Like, I'm loving this extra, like the extra, my love handles or my hips. I'm loving every bit of it. And to the point where I've done a few cover shoots that I probably would have never done back in the days, because I would have felt like I had to be back to my base weight. I had to be back like to a certain size, but it's like, you know what? Love every step of the process, embrace every step of the process. And I just feel so much more empowered because of that.
Well, and I love that you were talking about when you got back on track, which actually tracking, but when you have too many desserts or you know, binge a little, it's not like the end of the world because this isn't a diet. It's a way of living that does exactly what you have done, and that is helps you get back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lifestyle. It's about total wellness. It's about the big picture. And again, that's a part of life. You got to like allow yourself to like enjoy the process, enjoy yourself. Like it's okay to have a little fun. You need to have a little fun. I think if we're so intense about everything, we'll be going crazy. And especially in this pandemic and being a mom of three, it's like, I got to give grace. You got to give grace in the
Yes, that's
process.
a beautiful
And
word. Somebody put used
yeah, and
that
like
this
you
morning.
said, yeah, and like we say with the WW program, it's really easy and it's really fun, and you also get to learn a lot on the app, which is really cool. I'm like, oh, that food is only 0 points. Like, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so you get to learn a lot in the process as well, which is really fun.
Yeah, what I've learned is to track the look up what the points are before you eat it, because after it's when you find out, oh, that was 14 points. Not good.
Exactly. You feel
Not
like
good raisins. Not good.
exactly. I go like, I felt so good about that meal. That meal was like, it didn't feel like it was crazy. And then like you say, you discover, you're like, oh, those points are really high. Or like cheese can
Oh,
add
forget
more
about it.
points. I'm like,
Forget
what
it.
the world, right? So, but
Yeah,
you're right. You
forget the
can
cheese.
educate yourself, and it helps you make better choices.
Cheese and peanut butter. I have learned to live not on the tablespoon version of the peanut butter, but a teaspoon can go a long way. You can get that teaspoon to go across the whole piece of toast. That's what I've learned to do.
That's exactly it. And you start to kind of train yourself or condition yourself to like knowing you don't need as much as you thought you needed once you like,
Absolutely. That's the thing.
gradually cut back.
Well, Ciara and NFL star husband Russell Wilson welcomed a third baby last July. Little Wynn, what a great name. Wynn Harrison, who joins Big Brother Future and Big Sister Sienna. Now, you recently shared the prayer that you said that brought Russell into your life. And one of our team members, Joseph, said, the single people out there need to know what that prayer was. Could you share that prayer?
This prayer thing, I mean, it's so funny, but it is real. I won't say I share the exact things that I said, but I'll give you the idea. I was at a very critical place in my life. I was a single mom, and I was just really wanting to envision where I wanted to go at life. And at that point, when you have a child, the word responsibility becomes really real, and there's really no room to kind of play around. And so I just kind of thought about, okay, where I've been, what I've gone through, and what I don't want to go through anymore. And I was intentional in my thoughts. I wanted a man of God. I wanted a man that loved kids, because obviously I had kids. A man that also, loved the world, loved being an adventurer, like loved, exploring, like all the things that I desired. I was kind of declaring it and praying and being intentional in my thoughts about that guy or that person. And it became so real to the point where you could taste I could taste what I was envisioning. It's like I could see it, and therefore automatically in that same breath, I saw what I knew, what I didn't want. And I knew when I would see what I didn't want, and I would know it wasn't what I wanted. And so there was just, I just was intentional in my thoughts and intentional in my prayers. And I was ready to level up, for lack of better words. I was ready to go to the place that I deserved, to the place that I desired, the place that I hoped for. I was ready for it. And so that also, I think, was critical in the process. And there, you talk about self-love. There was a self-love phase for me that I thought it was important not to try to be in a relationship. It was important for me to take care of myself. And at that point, I was going to get my balance back. I was going to get my sexy on. I was like, I'm not going to be a single mom out here holding on to all this, the excess weight that I had gained. And I was like, you know what? I want to go to another place I've never gone before. And I committed to that. And that was my own personal goal. So it was really me more so envisioning where I wanted to go, speaking life into where I wanted to go, writing down where I wanted to go, and then pressing go to get there. So yeah, that's kind of like a lot of my thoughts that I had going on at that time. And it was game changing, because once I committed to all of it, it just literally started to happen, just gradually and at the perfect pace for me.
Well, as you know, we've been working on our workbook this morning, Ciara, and will you stay and do the next exercise with us?
Of course, I'd love to.
Okay, everybody, take out your workbook pages right now. Right below the self-love score, you'll see a gratitude space to write down 3 things that you're grateful for today. I started doing this years ago. And I will tell you, you want to change your vibrational frequency, you want to change your ability to create abundance in your life, gratitude is it. That's how you do it. And you start with being grateful with the smallest of things. I've actually started replacing the word gratitude now with delight after reading this book by Ross Gay called The Book of Delights. Delight is one of my favorite words, because I know gratitude gets overused a lot now. I remember in the 90s when I first started asking people to do this, nobody even knew what we're talking about. Now everybody talks about gratitude. But once I started living in this space of being thankful for the smallest of things, I can't tell you how, well, you all can see a lot of the rewards that I've received. And a lot of the rewards that I received, you can't see because they're internal. But I feel blessed all the time, no matter what the circumstances, because of this practice of gratitude, especially during a pandemic. And I have seen that when I was not as faithful in being grateful, or at least conscious about being grateful, things seem to go awry. And I would say, what is going on with me? And I think, oh, I haven't been disciplining myself with this practice of gratitude. It is literally my strongest spiritual practice. So whether you call it gratitude or thankful or my new favorite word, delight, take a moment to write 3 things that you are delighted by, that you are grateful for. And Ciara, I want you to share what you wrote.
All right. So I have down first, I am grateful for breath, just simply the gift of being able to breathe, knowing how much of a blessing that is. My husband and I, we get to go to the Seattle Children's Hospital, and we deal with patients of many kinds, some that are, literally on their deathbed, to those that are fighting for their lives. And you just go, I'm just thankful to breathe. I'm grateful for breath. So that's my first one that I have. And I also have, of course, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my family. It's a blessing to be with them, especially in this pandemic. They talk about finding the silver linings. That's been mine. And because I know I'd be running all over the place otherwise. And so in the midst of the chaos, just being able to spend time with my kids day in and day out. And it gets crazy. It's not always pretty, but it's a blessing to be with my kids and to be with my husband more than we've ever been able to because of the pandemic. It put us in these 4 walls together. And I'm grateful for that. And then thirdly, I'm grateful to wake up doing what I love doing and knowing that what I do blesses me with the opportunity to give back to others. I'm just grateful for that because I know it's a blessing concerning all that we're going through. And I'm driven to find ways to keep, taking my blessings and blessing others with them and finding ways to give back. I'm super driven to do that because I know the circumstances could be different. And I'm humbled in this process as well because I know where I came from. And so I just, those are my 3 things that I have. Breath.
I love that. I love that. And we never forget where we came from. That's why success feels so great when you've worked to get there and you never forget how you got there. Thank you for sharing that. I wrote health because, first of all, I spent 321 days at home without leaving, and recently left, went to Maui for my birthday, and then came back to do this with all of you all today. But 321 days, and with Stedman and our, daughter girls from South Africa, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience in terms of getting to know each other and bonding as a family. And I say this, a year ago, last year, I think I was in San Francisco or getting ready to go to LA with the WW tour. And during that tour, I think I was in stadiums all total like 120,000 people, shaking hands, dancing, laughing in people's faces, people in my faces, selfies. And that's when the pandemic was moving through the world and our country. And every day it makes my eyes water. I thank God that I remained healthy through that everybody on our team remained healthy through that. That's when we thought, hand sanitizing ourselves would make us safe. Nobody was wearing a mask, and we were in each other's faces. So health this is number 1 for me. Being able to have this digital experience with you all, top of the list. Being able to share in community, be of like minds with each other, means so much to me. And just the thing that Dr. Shefali was expressing, I have learned to live in the present moment and be content no matter what that moment is showing for me. And so however I can offer that in grace, in blessings, in knowledge to the rest of you who are here seeking that for yourselves, that higher ground for yourselves, I feel like such a blessing. Thank you so much, Ciara, for sharing yourself, your light, and your wisdom with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. And I just want to give a shout out to all the moms out there. I want you guys to know that you are not alone in your journey. Even for me, I like I say, it's not the prettiest every day. I can be a teacher's assistant at this point. We've all had to deal with the virtual schooling for our kids, but we're really built for it all. God has blessed you with the ability to persevere and to go through everything you go through. You are built with it, built for it all. So I want you to know that and be encouraged by that, that you have the stuff, you got all it takes. And again, like, it's not going to be pretty every day, but you can really push through, and you will if you speak life. I'm a believer that when you speak, you have a chance to tell your life story. So when you speak, say great things. I can, therefore I will. I am, therefore I can. It's words are so powerful. So speak life into where you are. Speak life in your trials. There's a scripture I say, a scripture that we love here. Consider it pure joy when you face trials and tribulations of many kinds, for the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1-4. Consider it pure joy in the midst of the storm we're going through right now, because it's going to be great on the other side if you keep your faith strong. So I just want to encourage you guys to do that. And thank you for having me, Oprah. It's a blessing and honor to speak with you today. And I'm proud to be
Such a joy to have you as an ambassador. Thank you so much.